Welcome to another exciting educational video brought to you by Vision Concept Academy. So in this video, we'll be looking at a series of questions under coordinate geometry for external exams, NECO, WAEC, GCE exams. If you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe to our channel to get more videos. So sit tight and enjoy this video. On the board, I have the first question under coordinate geometry. It says, given P, so P is a point, and the coordinate for P is x and 4. And also Q, coordinate for Q is 10 and 8. Midpoint is given as 9 and 6. Find x. This is the x we're looking for. Find x. Okay, so you know that this coordinate geometry, if you are given points like this, the values in the brackets separated by a comma is the value of x and the value of y. Also, value of x and the corresponding value of y, and so on. So, for midpoint formula, using the midpoint formula states that midpoint is equals to x1 plus x2 all over 2 and y1 plus y2 all over 2. So from this question, this is x1. I'll put it as a small letter of x1, and this is y1. This one is x2, and this is y2. So I can write the midpoint formula for this particular question by saying that for p, x, and 4, comma, q, 10, and 8, the midpoint formula here is x1, I'll show where my hand is, x1 is x, plus x2, x2 is 10, okay, all over 2, then separated by a comma, then y1 is 4, plus y2 is 8, also. All right, so this is the midpoint of this particular 2 points. You understand? And this one is the x component of the midpoint, and this one is the y component of the midpoint. But we're already given the midpoint as this, so that means x, which is 9, corresponds to this first component, and y, which is 6, corresponds to this component. We're not interested in this one. Already, even if I add 4 plus 8, this is 12. 12 divided by 2 will give you 6. That means it's consistent. By comparison, it's consistent. So, but I'm to find x. Okay? So, therefore, 9, which is this x, is equals to x plus 10 all over 2. So, I'm going to just solve the equation to get x. So, I will cross multiply. That is 2 will multiply 9 and 1, because assuming 1, 9 is over 1. Understand? If I don't write it at all, you all know that in mathematics it's divided by 1. So 9 times 2 here, cross multiplication, 9 times 2 is 18, is equals to 1 times x is x, and 1 times 10 is 10. So I'm going to collect like terms. This 10 will cross to go and meet 18, so I will continue here. 10 will cross to go and meet 18. When it does that, it will become minus 10, and is equals to x. So 18 minus 10 will give me 8 is equals to x. So the x I'm looking for is 8. So this thing, this particular p can be written as 8 and 4. So this is the x I'm looking for. All right, let's go into our next question. Okay, so I have another question on the board. It says that find equation of perpendicular bisector of P, this is the point coordinate, Q, this is the point coordinate. This JAMB 2013 question. So look at the keyword here, perpendicular bisector of slope. So having seen this particular word here, it means that we are going to be treating it using the formula to write equation. This formula is y minus y1 is equals to m, open brackets, x minus x1. Now, this x1 and y1 are the coordinates of the midpoint. The coordinates of the midpoint. So we are going to look for the coordinate of the midpoint. Then m is the slope. Okay, so let me put where x1, y1 is equals to coordinates of midpoint, and m is equals to slope of perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular bisector. Now this perpendicular bisector slope, if you want to get the slope of the bisector, it is the negative inverse of the real slope. Okay, so I have two things that I'm looking for here. This y here and this this y and this x are actually just variables in the final equation. Okay, so we proceed. First of all, we'll find the slope. Okay, so get the slope. Slope is equals to or slope n is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This one is basic, right? It's basic. So we can quickly get the slope. The slope here is, I take x, y2 is minus 5. y2 is minus 5. So we are working on this. So this is x1, y1, and x2, y2. Always write it down. That is to correspond to the particular value. So y2 is 1. y1 is 3. So I'll put minus 3. Please note the signs before the coordinate value. All over x2 is minus 5. And x1 is minus 2, sorry. Okay, so this minus at the center here is from the formula. So this minus attached to this particular value is from the coordinates value. So by the time I do the math here, this is 1 minus minus 3, which is the same thing as 1 plus 3, because many numbers come plus. 1 plus 3 will give me 4 upstairs, and 4 minus 5 minus 2 will give me minus 7. So the slope is actually minus 4 over 7. But then, because in this formula, we are looking at the slope of the perpendicular bisector. This is the normal slope. The relationship between the slope and the slope of the perpendicular bisector is that normal slope is equals to the negative inverse of, perpendicular bisector, this one, let me call this one m prime like this. Understand? So m prime like this is equals to the negative inverse of the slope. So this m bar like this is, you invert this one and put minus. You invert this one and put minus. So it's going to be 7 over 4. When I put minus on minus, it is just 7 over 4. So if I invert this one and put minus in front of it, you understand? The minus and minus here will cancel. So this one is this. So I've gotten this particular component already. Why this x1 and y1 is the midpoint? So I'm going to go and find the midpoint. x1 and y1 is the midpoint. So x1 midpoint, x1, okay, so let me just put it, coordinates of the midpoint, right? Okay, so x1 is equals to, how do I get the midpoint? Yes, this particular one here, 2 plus minus 5 all over 2, and y1 is equals to y1 is equals to minus 3 plus 1 all over 2. So it's the midpoint now I'm trying to get. If I get the coordinate of midpoint, my problem is solved. So 2 plus minus 5 will give me 2 minus 5, which is 3. So x1 is equals to 2 minus 5 over 2, and y1 is equals to minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2 over 2. So this one already will give me minus 1. Why this one will give me, x1 will give me 2 minus 5 is minus 3 over 2. 2 minus 5 minus 3. So I have the coordinates here as this and this. So this is x1 and y1 is equals to minus 1. So I have these two, I have this one. I have midpoint and this. So I'll go back to this equation and put it there. So let's note this. Let's note the midpoint, negative inverse of the midpoint of the perpendicular of the bisector. Midpoint of the perpendicular bisector is the negative inverse of the slope. Note that. Midpoint of the perpendicular bisector, this one, is negative inverse of slope. So go and get the slope first. You can get the slope from this arrangement. You get the slope, normal. So this is the slope. When you get the slope, you invert it and negate it. When you add minus to it, you get this one. So let's note this one down and note this one. Then we'll go and put it in this equation and we'll get the equation of this perpendicular bisector. So stay tuned while I move these ones out of the way. Okay, so at this point, this is what I want to put. This is my value for m. So I will say y minus this y minus y1. y1 is minus 1. So I'll put a bracket and put minus 1 is equals to minus, that's m bar is 7 over 4, open bracket. Then this x minus x1, which is minus 3 over 2. So I will now go ahead and conclude this particular question. From here on, it's just to solve it like an equation. Y minus minus is plus, plus 1 is equals to 7 over 4, open bracket, x plus 3 over 2. Okay? So I'm going to open up this bracket. So y plus 1 is equals to 7 over 4x plus this times this will be 7 times 3 will be 21. 4 times 2 will be 8. Okay. So I have x and I have y. I have constant term. So I can take okay, what I will do now, I would collect like terms. That is, I will let all the variables be on one side and let the constant term come here. So variable will come here. Variable x and variable y will be in one side. So y minus 7 over 4x. It's not because I cannot work on these two together, but I'm collecting them based on the fact that they are both variables. I want to work on the constant term. So 21 over 8 here. Then when 1 crosses, it's going to become minus 1. Understand? So I can find the LCM of this one. 8 is the LCM. 8 divided by 8 is 28. 8 divided by 8 is 1, and 1 times 21 is 21. Then this is 1 into 8, or 8 divided by 1 is 8 times. 8 times 1 is 8. Okay, so I can still retain this one like this on this side. I will solve this. 21 minus 8 will give me 21 minus 8 will give me 13. So I have 13 over 8 here, and I have y 7 over 4x. So I can dress it because in your options you might not have it like this. You might not have it like this. So I want to dress it. So I want to remove all these denominators on the terms. I have 3 terms here. First term, 1, 2, and 3. So each term, I will multiply each term by 8 so that I can clear the denominators. How did I get 8? How did I get 8? The 8 I'm using to multiply each term is the highest common factor. So 4 is here, 8 is here. So 8 is higher. 8 is higher because if I put divided by 8. This 4 will go completely, this 8 will go completely. So I will now say multiply each term by 8. Multiply each term by 8. Okay, so this is the first term now. I multiply first term by 8 minus second term. I multiply second term by 8. Then is equals to third term. So everything in the bracket is already in the equation, but everything outside the bracket is 8, 8, 8. It's fair. I cannot multiply this term by 4, this term by 8. No. If you are doing it to 1, do it to everything. Multiply everything by the same thing. You are sharing equally. No cheating. So this is 8y minus the 4 here 1, 4 here 2. 2 times 7 is 14x. Is equals to 8 here 1, 8 here 1. So 13. So this is the answer. This is the equation. This is the equation of the perpendicular bisector of these 2 points. All right. So we'll go to the next question. Okay. So we have this question on the board. It's from WAEC 2009. It says the coordinates of the vertices of a triangle. So what comes to your mind first of all is a triangle. A, B, C are this A point. A point, the coordinate is 2, minus 2 and 1. B point is the coordinate is 4 and minus 2. And C, you have 1 and 8 respectively. If D, they gave us a coordinate, no values, just X and Y. X is X, Y is Y, is in the foot perpendicular from A to B, C. Find the equation connecting X and Y. First of all, these things, let's just draw the triangle of vertex. So the triangle is ABC, right? So I'll just do triangle like this. So in according to the order, I'll just say A here, I'll say B here, and C here. In fact, why I know that this bottom is BC is because they said BC, there is the foot perpendicular from A to BC. So this is BC, is the bottom part. The coordinate of A is given here. I can put the coordinate here, minus 2, sorry about this, minus 2 and 1. The coordinate of B is given as minus 4 and minus 2. And the coordinate of C is given as 8, 1 and 8. Coordinates are just points. Like a Sharpen. And they just point. This is the first value here is the X axis, and the second value is the Y axis. So for your basics, coordinates are just like if I do my Cartesian plane, what they call Cartesian plane. 4 lines intersecting at the center. This part is the positive Y axis, and this is negative Y axis. Here is the positive X axis, and here is negative X axis. So if I come and put a point here, okay, so I have to read the value. Let me call this point P. I have to read the value up to where this X is, and know that the first point on this P is whatever I have here. If I have 3 here, the first point is 3. If I read up this point again to this point, and this, because this is minus side, if I have minus 2 here, this side is minus 2. That's how all these things are gotten. It's from basics. So we don't need to sweat about this. All right. So take this one off. Okay. So I've drawn the triangle up to this point. That said, if D, a point is D that has X and Y as its coordinates, is the foot perpendicular from A. So this is A. So foot means that is the perpendicular from A. If I divide this one into 2 equal half and go down like this, so that it will hit BC. You understand? So at this right angle triangle, this is point D, and point D coordinate is unknown. The first one is X, second one is Y, unknown. So we're told to find equation connecting X and Y. This is very simple. This is very simple. We need to just work on this line. This is a straight line. This is a straight line. From line B, from point B to C is a line. You understand? I can get the gradient. You understand? The gradient is uniform or along this line. So I can get the gradient of point B to C and equate it to the gradient of point D to C, for instance. For instance, or B to D. Anyone I can take is the same thing, but I want to take D to C. Okay, so I will now say gradient, okay, as a matter of fact, gradient of line BC is equals to gradient of line DC. So I will find the gradient of line BC, look at my points, B and C, and I will take, gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The same thing in this side too, right? The same thing in this side too. There are two sides. There are two parts of this. Understand? But I'm going to be looking at BC first. This is B and C. Now, on top of that, B, x value for B is 4. Okay, let me write BC out. For BC gradient, BC gradient, the x2 is, okay, let me put out the point first. B is 4 and minus 2, okay, and C is 1 and 8. Okay, so under it, I will say 4 is x1, minus 2 is y1. This one is x2, and this one is y2. So if I go to write the gradients, M for line BC is equals to y2 is 8 minus y1 is minus 2 all over x2 is 1, then minus x1 is 4. Just follow it. Put your x2, y2 here, put your y1 here, put your x2 here, and put your x1 here. Just follow it the way it is. That's why I say write it down first. Okay, so by the time I do that, I'll be getting 8 minus 2 is 8 plus 2. You understand? 8 plus 2, which is 10. 10 over minus 3. So I've gotten the gradient of BC. Now what about the gradient of DC? Gradient of DC is this point. This is D and this is C. So for DC, gradients of DC, D and C, again, I'll map the values. What is Y2? Y2 is 8 minus, what is Y1? Y1 is Y. Is it not? So I just put Y there. All over. Then X2 is 1 and X1 is X. You see? I have gotten this one like this. So it is 8 minus Y over 1 minus X. Okay, so I will equate this and this together because I've written down that the gradient of BC, which is this one, is equal to this one. So I will put it here. I will equate it. So minus 10 over 3 is equals to 8 minus Y over 1 minus X. So I'm going to solve this to simply get the answer. So just hold up. Let me clean this up. So at this point, I'm going to say that minus 10, I will multiply, minus 10 times what I have here, 1 minus X is equals to 3 times upstairs, 3 into 8 minus Y. So what I'm doing here is that I'm multiplying. I multiply minus 10 up here times 1 minus X, 10 minus 10 into 1 minus X. Then I multiply 3 by 8 minus Y. So I can open the bracket up. So minus 10 times 1 is minus 10 minus, okay, so minus 10 times minus X is plus 10X. It's equals to 3 times 8 is 24 minus 3 times Y is 3Y. So I can group all the variables on one side and the constant term on another side. The variable is 10 here, 10x, then when this one crosses over, it becomes plus 3y is equals to 24 minus, when this one crosses here, it becomes plus, so it's still, no, not minus. When this one crosses here, it becomes plus, so it's plus 10, right? Okay, so I will now add these two together. So I'll be getting 10x plus 3y is equals to 34. So this is the equation. This is the equation for this coordinates, for these coordinates. And this coordinate is a point perpendicular to the bisector of A to BC. All right, so move on to the next question. Okay, so I have a question on the board. It says 2 points given as A, the coordinates 1 and 2, B, the coordinates 5 and 10. Find the distance AB given gradient and gradient M. So there are 2 questions. Distance along 2 points and a gradient of 2 points. So this is a simple question. Distance along 2 points, is equals to square roots of x1 plus y1 all square plus x2 plus y2 all square. Okay. Okay, so I always tell you to put the notations before you proceed, so you know which one is x1, which one is y1, which one is x2, which one is y2. So from this question, this one is x1, y1. The first one is always 1, 1. So this is x and y, 1, 1. Second point is y2, sorry, x2, x starts first, x2, y2. So, you know, this maps to this, and so on. So from this question, I'll just put my square root sign. So x1 here is 1. You understand? X1 here is 1. So I will say 1 plus distance along 2 points is given as this formula. It is a difference. So y2 minus y1 all square plus x2 minus x1 all square. We're looking at the difference between the 2 points. So y2 is 10. Okay, so I will say 10 minus y1 is 2 all square plus x2 is 5 minus y1 is 1 all square, then square root. So that's the distance. So I have square root again, all. Then 10 minus 2 is 8 square. I will solve what is inside here, square, plus 5 minus 1 is 4 all square. Okay, so at this point, I will get 8 square is 64 plus 4 square is 16 square roots. So when I add the two of them, I'll be getting 80. Square root of 80, by the time we do it, you'll be getting, in short form, you can get it 4 root 5. In short form, you can get it 4 root 5. How do I get 4 root 5? I can decide to say that I will break this into two products. I would say 5 times 16. Root 5 times root 16. 16 times 5 is 80 already. So this component will give me 4. If I do the square root of this component, it will give me 4. So I have 4 root 5. So that's why I got 4 root 5. So this is the distance between these 2 points in short form. All right, but now we're going to find gradients. Gradient M is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Because so the difference between the 2 points. So y2 is 10 minus y1 is 2, okay, over x2 is 5 minus x1 is 1. Okay, so 10 minus 2 is 8 and 5 minus 1 is 4. So 8 divided by 4 will give me 2. So gradient is 2, M is 2, and the line, distance between the line is, between the point is 4 root 5. So I'm going to be leaving some questions in the comment section and description that are different from these ones with the answers. I want you to study this, play the video over and over again, get the concepts of coordinates and points, and how to find the distance between two lines, the gradient, a particular bisector, and so on. So I hope this video has been convenient for you. I'd like to thank you for viewing.